Fletcher's talking about Brisbane. I'm like, hey, mate, did you even watch the game? He goes, 2 o'clock on Sunday. I was down the beach and I went had some Zambuca.
I think that's what Brisbane are going through at the moment, is finding that who they are, their DNA.
Mate, I love Bulldog because this is probably going to get cancelled. He's like a tour de dwarf. Like, he comes in. But he wrote this article when Laurie was coaching last time, and I just sent him a text, said, mate, that was so hard to read because of all the tears that you were. Mate.
Who's the better half, Braith or Maddie?
Why'd you put me in that position?
It's
what it means is your family name's on the back. That's the only game you play where you represent more than yourself. It's a totally different feeling than any other jersey.
If you were the Tigers players with what happened with Galvin, I know we're not going to harp on about it, but this is the fact. You would want to kill him this week. Welcome to the BETFU podcast with Braith and Mace, Aaron Macy, and very special guest. Our man Reni is still away. Yep, he's still away. Can you believe it? So I've got a good mate of mine and co-host on NRL 360, the great Gorden Tallis.
See, Braith, that's where I got the pen. See, because on 360, I just fiddle with a pen.
You do fiddle.
Reni's normally got this little soccer ball he fiddles with.
Does he? Yeah.
He likes having balls in his hand.
So when do you have your week off, mate? So I had a week off.
I'm due for the week. You've had one. Reni's had one.
What is it? Do all forwards take this time of year off? Is that the forward thing?
Pretty much. It's the rotation. I come through the NRL when there was unlimited interchange, so you can just pick and choose. But you pick and choose when you want to play.
Should we expect him to come back nice and fresh? Because you come back flying.
Well, it's fresh. You know what? The rugby league season's getting longer.
It is.
Living in Queensland, it's a bit of a stretch on the family. So the great boss Steve Crawley, who I love, said, "Mate,
I'm going to get that in my contract."
Just school holidays.
You're a better negotiator than me.
But school holidays I couldn't do it because it was Origin,
and
I couldn't leave the show because I'm the only Queenslander there.
That's true.
Because Reedy's part-time Queenslander, so I had to stay there for that, and then I took the kids out and spent some days with them.
He's been whinging that someone's stealing his protein balls. Does anyone steal your lunch?
You missed that.
Have a look at me. You think someone steals my lunch?
You missed it. You're away. So we touched on it last week. Did you see on Matty Johns they stitched me up?
No.
Fucking bastards. They stitched me up and then they said something about Misty's. But I had protein. I take protein balls to work with my meals, and someone stole them last week. Like stole them, all my protein balls out of the fridge. You know the fridge upstairs. Anyway,
Mitch Diffin.
As if he's having protein balls. He's our producer, by the way.
Benny Hogarth.
Oh, okay.
It'll be someone like Benny Hogarth, I reckon.
It's like Cluedo. It's a game of Cluedo who stole Braith's protein balls.
Mate, this is how you do it. You just get some, make them out of something different and see who takes them.
If it's something else in there.
I've heard some stories of that.
Yeah, that's all you do. Just stitch them up.
Gordie, so I want to touch on a few different things that 360, this would be very different to that, but you started you've started your career, you've on radio, TV, 9, all that, but I want to focus more on Matty Johns. So Matty Johns shows a huge success, has been for ages, right? It's hilarious. You got Fletch and Hindy and Matty, of course. They do a great job, and you were on that for a long time.
Yeah.
Then you transition to 360. That's two different, very different shows.
Beats,
talk me through that.
Well, Matty, it's sort of strange because we all played with and against each other, and we're sitting there, and for 12 years, you take it for granted. So for 12 years, I played in Fletch and Hindy's role, but to have those guys that didn't really watch a lot of footy at the beginning. It was basically myself and Matty, and they'd do the skits. So they're totally different shows, but it was so popular because sometimes you can take yourself too serious, right? Now I sit on a serious show, which I'm liking because it's journos and you get to the meat of the bone, but Matty is for a totally different audience, and to have Fletch there. Like one day he was talking about a game, right? And this is funny because he's talking about the Broncos, and I'm thinking, shit, I'm going to lose a bit of credibility here because I watched the Queensland side. So the deals were I watch all 4 Queensland teams. Yeah. Matty's does Newcastle and Manly and that, and then we all had our region. So when that side comes up, you got to put your hand up, you got to talk about it. Fletcher's talking about Brisbane. I'm like, hey, mate, did you even watch the game? He goes, 2 o'clock on Sunday. I was down the beach and I went and had some Zambuca. So, and then they laugh at him, right? Yeah. And then he gets away with it. So that's
he can get away with anything.
So that's the type of the show. And then Hindy's actually, when you sit and talk to him, knows he's footy, but as soon as the lights come on, he goes, he played good. he shits himself. And then Matty's just got this great retention of knowledge and knows when to pick. And, if you're playing in a footy team, he knows when when to pass you the ball. And
he's a half on camera as well, isn't he?
Yeah. So, look, that's a great show. And then the live audience works. And then you go to 360, which is an opinion show, which is really cool. And it's get to see on the other side, which they've played such an important part, like the journos, and sit with Braith. So I used to watch a show with Ike and Kenty, right? And you see Braith there, and it's a big show, it's a beast, and everybody wants to sit there. And, you know, the same thing, like to be the puppeteer that Braith is, and to be on that show, it's different. But I'm enjoying it as well. But I do miss Maddie's show. I do miss, so like then I had the week off, I turned on 360. Sat there, watched it, really enjoyed it. And I watched Maddie's show all the time as well. Yeah. So, it was good to be part of these shows that I actually sit there and would watch if I'm not on them.
Are you enjoying 360?
360, yeah. And then the journos are great.
It's a different world, isn't it? Like
it's totally different.
So many people, because when we do the show, a lot of the coaches and players say they don't watch it, don't they? But then as soon as you say something,
say something about
it. How they know.
Mate, I heard what you said the other day.
But you went to New Zealand, right, for your break, and you were saying over there, even they were going,
mate, everybody watches the show. Like it's weird because like the kids go to these schools and they're private school, rugby school. I'll walk and it's Mr. Tallis. So even young kids, like 12-year-olds, because when I was on the Matty John show, it was after Thursday night footy. So it was more the 23 to say 50-year-old. But on 360, it's like they must sit down with their dad and that's their little footy fix or maybe dad time. So it's a totally different audience. But over in New Zealand, you don't realise, to have a rugby union crazy country, and then they started in 95. So I was one of the first, sides to go over there and play, and how it's grown and morphed into the Wars. And I could not believe I was over there for the Titans. The Titans were on the bottom of the table. And the ground's packing up an hour before, and everybody's got a jersey on. Yeah. Everybody's got a flag. The kids are there. It's just, it's good to see rugby league strong. But the show, and it's on later. It's on, the game starts at 9:50. Yeah. And people are packing pubs to watch, the rugby league. So it's great.
I love working with you. I think you've done a great job, and it's not easy. Like you get thrown to the deep end. I got thrown to the deep end too, and it takes a bit of time to find the balance, right? Yeah. To have an opinion and back yourself with the opinion and challenge the journos. Like that's the big thing isn't it? Like kind of getting the confidence to just fucking take it on.
But have so many partners, right? So you got the clubs, right, that are fantastic and pay all the bills, and then there's the ownerships, and then there's the managers, then there's the coaches, then, there's the journos, and they're trying to get the story of all these people, and they're trying not to let it leak out, or they want to let it leak, and then you sit there and you want to say, hey boys, and then I sit there and it's strange because every story I've got to go, okay, what would I do if I'm a player? What would I do if I'm a fan? What would I do if I'm a coach? And you try to run through those scenarios to give the people at home sort of your opinion. And if you keep on thinking as a player, well, you sit still. So you got to put on the different hats, and that's the hardest thing, and because you don't want to keep on thinking as a player.
How have you found that transition? Because as a kid, I've known Braith since I was 14, and I've got to watch him from that transition.
Well, the first time you bag a player or go against your old club or go against someone or go against your old coach, everybody thinks that you're not loyal.
Yeah. And that's the crazy thing.
That's not the case. The case is like with Wayne Bennett or whatever. The case is I'm paid for my opinion. I'm loyal to my new job, which is, the Zone and Steve Crawley. They give me the opportunity. So when they ask you to have an opinion, you just have it. I don't care if people don't agree with it, but it's my opinion from what I see and what I hear.
It doesn't mean you don't love some, like even the Dogs. If I'll give them so much credit and tell them I love them and I want them to win the comp, and then I'll say one negative thing or one thing where they need to be better or one thing they've let themselves down in, and that's all they remember. And it's like, guys, it doesn't mean I don't love the joint. That's why we're in the position we are, because we've got to be honest.
Okay, so like when I talk about Wayne, he's in my top 5 people in rugby league that's helped me ever. Rod Reddy'd be there, Craig Bellamy, probably Brian Smith, right? So there's 4. So they're people, but when I say, Brian Smith, he was this or that, doesn't mean he's like, if I ever had my career again, I'm doing it exactly the same way. But when I watch them and I go and then the beef with Wayne was when I think Darius Boyd made his debut and he's sitting there and they're asking him about it. He goes, I don't know, you watch the game. And I just think, man, there's more to that. When kids make their debut and he might get the shits with the media or he shits with the way his sides plays. And I think sometimes, you just don't talk to the guy there, talk to the fans at home, talk to the kids. And that's my gripe.
How are you with Wayne?
Yeah, good. Yeah, great.
Like
well, I
good
don't
agent.
see him as much,
Yeah.
but like if I see him, like we'd sit and talk and have a chat for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But when I think he's done something wrong or
You
he's
say
funny, I just say it.
Because
But
not
no
many
one
would
does.
see, and that's why you'd be reason you're in the seat. If you're not going to say it or call people out, you may as well not. You know, there's no.
But he's the
point.
greatest, probably coach.
Yeah.
Between he and Craig Bellamy and Ivan Cleary coming up. But like in the time that I've watched, like Wayne, the magic dust that he gets, the players that he gets, like the same. And, you know, whoever coached you, like you're going to do that. And Craig Bellamy's the same, Ivan Cleary. But what Wayne has done to be a winger, like seriously, and to be a copper and you know, his story and in the Broncos and in the Broncos were going to sack him, like they run a poll on television.
Yeah.
Should Wayne Bennett get the sack? You know, then I was there when he cut journalists off for like 12 months. So we're walking on and off training. So he's been under pressure and the way he's dealt with it and his family life and to do all that. So there's so much respect with Wayne. But when he does something wrong, I think I just got to say it. And Wayne would go, no one wants to know my opinion. I'd say, well, why'd you write 3 books? You know what I mean? But you got 3 books. So you want them to read that opinion, but you don't want to. So it's like, to me, it's fun.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think he still has it?
I said ages ago that I wouldn't have anything in common with a 75, like if I'm 20, with a 75-year-old if I wasn't related to him. Yeah. And that's true. So how many, because like, you know, I'm on planes a lot. I watch old ladies grab their bags and young blokes, young businessmen walk past them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's, but Wayne does seem to have that. He can get into it. And they've had a lot of injuries this year. But I think next year will be really telling. I think he did get the roster. I don't know whether he had his fingerprints on the roster, but once he'll change and he'll get it right, I still think he's got something to offer because there's no rumours coming out of there. Like there's no secrets in our game.
That's true.
No.
You know what I mean?
You don't hear player unrest there, do you?
No. Yeah. So, but I'm sure the injuries in Cam Murray and Latrell and those guys, like South had a pretty weak roster in some parts, you know, so they were sort of had band-aids on some of the positions and they had more injuries. So I'd probably give him a lot of, you know, relief this year, but next year I'm pretty sure they'll be cracking.
Yeah, next year's a year. I mean, it has to. But then you got PNG and all that. But what about Brisbane? Brisbane's one that, you know, obviously you're passionate about. Yeah. And, you know, you've got the Madge situation. Yeah. Kevy's your best mate. Everyone knows, right? It's pretty well known. What's your thoughts around Brisbane, you know, maybe even about Madge, where they are now, where they're heading?
I think they're the most talented side in the comp, and I think they prove it. I just think they need to get the balance right between showing the flashy bit and putting on the blue collar as well, you know, putting on the baller suit and putting on the dinner suit, right? But sometimes they want to play dinner suit a bit too much. But I think talent-wise, I think they've got it there. They're one big man short, you know, like I think – yeah, there was a lot of reliance on Payne Haas and Jensen's there, but they need, you know, like the 1-2 punch. The side on top of the table is Papali'i, you know, and so there's a big 1-2 punch there at the Raiders. But I think that they're talented. I didn't like the way the Kevy situation went down. We didn't get him the job. I think, you know, the board.
Why didn't you like that way? Like the way, because a lot of people don't know actually how it went down.
Well, because there's no secrets, and then I found out in August that they were. And then I texted the CEO and said, hey, mate, there's stuff going around here now, you know? And that's the sad part. And I just thought, just be upfront.
You thought you deserved more.
Well, stab someone in the chest.
Especially club legend.
Stab someone in the chest. Yeah. Don't stab them in the back in our game. And that's the problem with a lot that goes around. So just be upfront and honest. And then I said, hey, Kevy, I said, just be careful here, you know, and then there was guys telling the New South Wales, mate, you need a new coach next year, and even New South Wales. So the deal was getting done in the background before it happened. So even if they did go on a run.
You're talking about Madge.
Yeah, so and they had a lot of injuries. And they had a lot of injuries, right? So their top 5 players played 5. Every other guy gets a grace. We had Dave Donaghy come on Triple M. He goes, oh, mate, the injuries. I said, hey, don't use those as an excuse because you didn't use them last year. So that's the point. So they can pick the narrative that they wanted. For some reason, they didn't want Kevy. This is the truth. So Madge, they've run it, mate. They've rolled him out, give him the red carpet. This. Every single article is about how good he is. Yeah. Not the last 5 years he coached, he missed the top 8, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
And then Kevy had to go buy his own shirt to do his own press conference.
Yeah.
And then the chairman's walked past some ex-players and goes, how's your mate going now? So I don't think that there was the support behind him that there is behind this coach, and that there was with the and that's it. And as for Kevy, and then when people talk about me and Kevy, right, the thing is, right, I got divorced. I was sitting at home by myself one Christmas, and he rings me and goes, "What are you doing?" And my kids were with their mum. And he goes, none of my mates should ever sit at home, and he come over. So I'm not talking about Kevy Walters as the Bronco, because I don't hang around the Bronco. But that's as a man coming around, and all those things that we talk about now, he drove around to my place.
That's
when I talk about,
he did something similar. He did something similar for me. I went,
it matters.
So then now for me to have a voice and not go, hey, and I don't go, he's the greatest coach ever, but when I say I think he deserved a little bit more respect. And then I rang the most powerful guys in the game and said, am I wrong? Because I didn't want to be that guy. And I rang the biggest guys and I said, am I wrong? They said, no. They said, at least he gets like the next year. They were 3 minutes away from beating the side, but Craig Bellamy couldn't beat him, and Wayne Bennett. And then if I'm wrong with all those things that I just spoke about, I'll take it.
Kevy's actually handled that well, that grand final loss. Like whenever he talks about it, he's really positive. He doesn't let it get him down. And
look at Penrith.
Think if any of us were in that situation,
I'd be
how horrible that would be.
I think about it. I think about cheering. I think about my stepson crying. I think about me high-fiving Willie because I'm there and Willie goes, man, you guys have got this. I'm like, I hope we do. And then Penrith just come back. But
I'd have made Adam going for $500,000 and he thought he was home.
God. Geez, that's
that
bad.
Poor bloke. I don't think he's got over it.
Did he go on the bender?
Kevy,
Did he go on the bender or the opposite? Did he just hide in his house?
You know what? Luckily, he's got plenty. He's a big punter, and he probably got over it quicker than everyone else. But
Well, Gordie, how are you imagining him?
I don't see him. No, he's fine, and I hope that the club, because of the club is so big, and believe it or not, it's so important to Queensland Rugby League, to the kids. It's important to the Cowboys. It's important to the Dolphins, have that rivalry, and it's certainly important to the Titans. So I hope that he can get them back, but he's got to, I just believe he's got to change his ways. Like a lot of coaches need, so if he thinks he's going to coach like Craig Bellamy up there, he's not Craig Bellamy. And I watch it with people that think that they're Wayne Bennett. There's only one bloke that can deliver Wayne's speeches, and that's Wayne. There's only one bloke that can blow up, and that's Craig. Because by the time, people don't see, by the time Craig comes down, he's, he does give him a spray, but most of the time, Cam and Billy goes, no, mate, he's calmed himself down. He's disappointed. You can see he's disappointed, but, and then at training, he'll spray him. So I think Madge, the only thing that I don't like is don't try to turn him into a Madge Maguire side because it's the Broncos. Like Ricky's got the Raiders playing their style, and everybody chases Melbourne, and you're never going to beat Melbourne playing like Melbourne.
correct.
You're never going to, and I just don't see, because people tried for so long. So, and the era I grew up with, everybody played their own style. The Dogs, everybody had their own.
They had their style.
And everybody just follows that. And if someone sneezes in our game, everybody gets a cold, and they all just do that.
That's where the best teams, that's where they succeed these days, is they've got their own style and they mastered that.
Well,
Penrith have done it. Then,
the Dogs have come out with their own style.
The Dogs have got their own style. Even though they did sort of take a lot of that from Penrith, they've made it their own. Melbourne have always had theirs. Canberra, they've got a style they play. They offload, throw the ball around.
The Warriors play their own style. You mean
I'll tell you the next one that's going to do it that I've picked up on, and it was a great point by Vossi, Parramatta.
Yeah, I love it.
Rollsy. It's not about winning football games now. It's about creating our fabric, our DNA.
That's what he's doing.
And he's doing it. But he's also come from the Trent Robinson, Bellamy.
He's taking a picture.
Yeah, see, and on Madge, so that roster, if you would ask
so you don't
it's
think
a good roster. It's a good roster. They won't play like Melbourne.
No, they can't.
They can't.
So don't try to get them. So then they got to express themselves, and it's a bit like when I was Elf quick tap, put a little grubber kick in, and do what Elf did that. Wendell trying to do, but you got to back that. Like Lockie, and you made a good point on it. Like Billy, like those guys that make mistakes. I remember one day Stephen Noof walked off training, and I went over to Wayne and said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Hey, when you can do what he does, you fucking go." But no, you can't. So so there's certain rules for certain players, and Reece is a bit flashy and all that kind of stuff. And Reece has got and then the thing with Reece, and we've all gone through it. They try to be that guy in the paper all the time, like Sonny Bill. Try to be the Sonny Bill that everybody wrote about. But if he's a 16-year-old kid that loved playing the game, it's the better version. So if Reece can just put that 16-year-old kid that just loved the game, and that's the hat that they got to keep on putting on, not the I'm the 22-year-old Reece Walsh, and that's what keeps you like.
I think that's what Brisbane are going through at the moment, is finding that
who they are,
their DNA, and they're a little bit lost. They're getting closer, you know. And the weekend was just an example of where they're at. They're not quite there yet, you know. And that was the Reece overplaying his hand, and that was you know the other boys not doing their job and kind of getting a bit lost out there and really fucking themselves, to be honest, in a critical game, but.
But it comes down to Adam Reynolds too.
Yeah.
Like if he's the half and he's the boss, at the end of the day, they pull the trigger on you, you know. Hey, we're doing here, or they just kick. So a couple of times, you know, like when I'm playing, because Alf seriously wanted to play every play. Yeah. You have no idea. Kevy would say, Alf, you can't, and Alf would be wanting to put a kick in, and I'm like, Alf, you got to kick, and then next minute he'd be kicking, fuck up, shut up, Kevy, you know. But then they were arguing because Kevy was more, we got to stick to this plan, and Alf's going, I can see something. Like I just wanted to
play, different mindset.
He just wanted to play, like just off the top, like, and then to get that structure, and then I sort of see that now, and I think just let them play a bit, and the blokes that can't do it, I defend them for them. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of two different teams out there. You got the Ezra, you got the blokes. Mate, you express yourself. Yeah. But mate, boys, we just defend their mistakes.
That's the key. But I was going to have some fun and rate the journos.
Oh, how good.
On 360. Do you want to leave that to the end, or we'll do it now?
Mate, why don't we do it now?
Do it now.
Actually,
What is it the ones I like or the stories they've written about me?
We're talking the ones on 360.
Right, good.
So I'm talking about all the guys that come on 360.
Yep.
I want to just rate them and give me a bit of a line about him. So we'll start with Reni.
Reedy's tries to be everybody's friend. He doesn't want to upset anybody. That's the problem with
He's
Reedy.
entertaining though, because
he's very entertaining.
He sticks to his guns, you know.
He does stick to his guns.
Even
like
if he's
the
wrong.
blokes that he is friends with. Yeah, like he is pretty loyal. You're like he'll jump on a manager's side, and he can't do anything wrong, and like it is wrong. But I like that part about him. He's a bit like Fonzie. He can't say that he's wrong, and he'll sit there and he just keep on digging in.
Should we out his contacts or?
No, you can't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
leave that.
We got inside info into.
But he does live on the northern beaches.
Yeah.
And they can't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And he does like the player agents pulling blokes out halfway through the year.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, and that's fine with that. So why would that kid?
Him and Isaac, eh?
Yes, I don't know his name.
It's one of them. All right, Hoops. Hoops is a good man.
Yeah, mate, to work with Hoops, to see how loyal he is, the stories. The best thing about Hoops is the stories that he doesn't write. You know, like I think every journo has a lot of those stories, but Hoops is a real staunch guy that loves the game. And
what people don't know about Hoops is he gets a lot of stories and he holds back. Yeah, because he's a man's man, and he doesn't go a lot like the buzzers and Widlers and all that would admit it. And chemists, they push the boundaries, you know, and that's why they're up in lights, and that's why they got those big back page, spreads every week. See, Hoops, he wants to protect and look after everyone, but still write the story. So he picks and chooses, but he looks after people. Yeah. He's more.
He's another man.
He doesn't go too far.
Well, see, the ducks in a row, right? Hoops would get more ducks in a row, the guys. Yeah. From what I see. Yeah. So some might get 2 ducks and go, oh, man, I've heard it from 2. Yeah. Hoops has just got to go a bit further. So what he normally says is spot on.
Riccio,
I like Dave. He's a Cronulla man. That's one thing that's a little bit disappointing. But no, Dave's a good fella. No, like I do. He's got to stand up. Like it's a better show when the journos go at each other.
A bit harder
you know what I mean? Like then, you know, like when they go against each other's stories. So he's probably not game enough to go at their story.
He's not quite. He hasn't backed himself enough to really push back.
Yeah, he's got to come off the bench, right? He's a good young kid, but he's getting a start. Mate, he's getting a start.
Just put him on the bench.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? Like, he's like those kids that come on, like he needs a bit more Reece Walsh. Just start like a bit more flair. But let's just start throwing
kick
it
on
around.
Second occasionally.
Carry Honest.
I like Carry On. It's the koala bear. Mate, I like the when Luai hammered him and told Gordie something like Luai hammered him and he come in and...
Did he call him the koala bear?
Oh, I don't know. No, I did because of his little fluffy
he posted
hair.
What was it, a picture
Gronk. He called him Gronks. I think he called them all Gronks or something. And I like that.
He called someone a rat once.
He's into him. No, mate, Carry On is good. Like he's, you know what I mean? And I think he's a bit like Hoops, like all the, you know, like he's got a... And it's who they talk to. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I think he's a bit like Hoops. He's
Crawls?
Love Crawls.
Yeah.
Love Crawls.
He's Crawls, just some background on Crawls. He does more prep than any of them for our show. Like our producer, Mitch Diffin, will ring him and he'll dead set. He'll know everything about every game and every incident, and he'll have an opinion on all of them. And he gives us so much content.
Yeah.
And he's strong he's strong.
If Paul Crawley ever wrote anything about you through your career, you couldn't challenge it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Like you couldn't go, oh, that's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Because he watches so much and it was right and he's played it like, and not that you have to play the game, but he's been involved with it so long. And I like the way he's always got an opinion and he like the shoulder charge, right? He goes, mate, it's not. And I'm like, well, he flew out and it was a head, but like it was a head clash and one's knocked out, you know, but he's
still staunch.
Mate, he's staunch and he's sort of right in a way because blokes today at the coffee shop going, mate, it wasn't, he sort of protected himself. But
with him, it's like all of us. You're not always right, but geez, he puts in the yards in, so it's always credible. Who else we got? Oh, Webby.
I love Webby.
Yeah.
Mate, Webby's a good fellow, mate. I sort of heard him on a podcast, he and Buzz. They were interviewing Gal, and Gal said that he was drinking too much in 23 for 1 year, so he had to stop. And Webby goes, I've been doing that for 40.
Yeah. Have you ever had a drink with Webby?
Yeah. In Vegas we caught up, I think the first time when we were doing some filming, and I didn't see him for 4 days after it. Mate, it's sort of like he got washed up on a deserted island.
He does do a number on himself,
yeah,
Webby.
mate, like he can do a number. But like, mate, I like Webby and
he's staunch too.
Well, mate, and he doesn't
very
care.
Intelligent,
Do you know what?
mate. Great rider.
And he'll take on, like, because he has a bit of a go at Gus and all that kind of, and that's like to be in this game and to point a finger at someone like
he's taking the NRL on at the moment.
You got to have some stones, you know, and so Webby's good.
I left you. I don't know if they're your favourites, but maybe the most fun we have at times on the show are with these two. Should we start with Bulldog or?
I love Bulldog. Mate, I love Bulldog because he's this is probably going to get cancelled. He's like a tall dwarf. Like he comes in, right? Like he's T-Rex, right? So like I remember him writing this, mate. Like I remember him,
Gordie gives him hell in a green room.
Well, because I've sort of been friendly with him and he's close with Laurie Daly, and you saw that article, like Laurie's my mate. Who cares, right? Who cares whether you got friends in the game? But he wrote this article when Laurie was coaching last time, and I just sent him a text, said, mate, that was so hard to read because of all the tears that you were, mate, and he started coming back at me, and then we had a bet, right? This is like about 8 years ago. He goes, mate, well, I'll bet you have 4 schooners. I said, no problem. I still have 4 schooners on Queensland, and we won. Double or nothing, so we won again. So he owes me like 8 schooners or something like that. He hasn't paid me. It's been like 8 years. So dog, but like he comes in and he played a bit of footy. So he did play with Scott Goulet and all these guys. He played rugby, mate, New South Wales sort of rugby union. So he's
good value, dog.
But like he's good value, and then
he takes it. Like he can give and take. Like is that some? Everyone's different, right? But he can give it and take it on the show. And
it's
in the green room, he threatens to bash Gordie all the time. Like
mate,
I just imagine
mate, keep it up. He goes 1-2 down Main Street, like mate, like, and he comes in and like we have these curries, and he just says, mate, I'm going to kick it over your head and land it there, and he thinks he can and hits the curry, and the curry goes all over the curry, and then someone's got to come in and clean it. So that's the dog, and like every time I'm about to talk, he sits there. And he thinks he's a really good sword.
With his John Travolta shirt on.
Mate, and he's got the worst dress sense. Like, I swear to God, he gets dressed in the dark. But I find him so entertaining.
He's great. He's great.
And now the good sword of the bunch.
Yeah, we've left the best till last. Yeah. The most polarising on our show, Buzz Rothfield, we had on last week.
Yeah.
What do you think of Buzzy?
The journos say that he knows what story's going to run the best out of anybody. Like he knows what people want to read. I think he's an old crocodile. No matter how much you feed him, he'll bite you in the end. Right? It doesn't matter, mate. If you have a pet crocodile, mate, no matter how many you give him. But he's entertaining and he knows what people want. Yeah. So like, mate, when you sit there and we're having a board, and then like, then he can pick something and it'll run. So out of all the journalists, for him to, mate, whatever's happening in the game,
like the Wayne, isn't he? He's the Wayne.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Well, so 40 years, he's been around a long, long time, and he knows the talent, and he plays an unbelievable role in the game. Like, to play that role in the game and to get people talking, and everywhere I go, mate, leave Buzz alone. Yeah. And everybody starts talking like, mate.
I say, our show, as Ted said, it's brought a different perception or view on him now. Like, that people see him as a soft teddy bear, and whereas before he was like, oh, he's the one that...
he just writes it,
you know,
mate. But then when you see him and like before it starts, he says, Braith, hold on a minute. You know, he does that. Let me finish. Yeah, mate. And he's very talented. He's like his dad's a doctor, so he's highly intelligent too, Buzz. He plays a great role.
Love or hate him, he's the hardest worker. Yeah. And he's not scared of anyone or anything, and he write a story no matter what.
And, you know, they're there and they're trying to get the stories with our producer and what's happening. And I've been sitting there and Buzz will make a phone call and they pick up no matter who it is. Yeah. Which mate, whoever it is, they pick up.
They know how important
it is.
And
then he just walks out and he goes, mate, I just want to double check, and he'd be walking away. And then he just, so he's always across most of it.
I've got a question. We talked about halves before and hosting shows. Who's the better half? Braith or Maddie?
Why'd you put me in that position?
They're two different. Compare.
No, mate, like they're two different. So I think both of them could do both roles.
I think so too.
But it's not called the Braith and Mace show.
Yeah.
Maybe it will one day.
No, it's very different.
No, it isn't. It's
very
completely
different.
It's
like if I tried to do what Maddie does, I couldn't.
Yeah, do you know what, mate? Like it's like
he's so intense.
Maddie's a bit like Alf, where they just roll and it's like there's no auto cue.
Yeah. It's all
so
off
that's
the cuff.
Strange.
That is strange. Oh, so there's no auto cue at all.
Maddie sits
I reckon you would probably have auto cue and not use it that much.
No, because I have no.
Oh, you do?
My auto cue. So the difference is with my auto cue is my reads, which are the most important to the breaks, are the big ads for for our company. Whereas Maddie will go, like if there's a zoo fight, Maddie go, Zoo's fighting this weekend. Like he's whereas I've got to do the full sell because we're different.
Main event,
but then he's hilarious. He's very intelligent. He's very good at storytelling. He remembers stats, games, and moments from yesteryear, which I can't remember yesterday. So like
Maddie's been doing it for 20 years.
He's so good at what he does.
Maybe Maddie's been doing it for 30 years. So when he was playing, he was on the footy show.
Well, he was. That's he started.
So the experience that Maddie has with what happens, Braith has got 20 years to get
we're just different. We're very different.
No, mate, mate, when Braith's the same, like then it'll be the same. Like they'll be the same role.
100%. What about remember watching? I love watching it comes up. The Fat. Watching the Fat.
The Footy show.
How good was the Fat?
Mate, he lifts his leg and he farts, and then someone looks at him and goes, "Are you serious?" What? Like it's. But you know, I'd love to see Maddie. Seriously, I would love to see Maddie and Joey do a show. I would love to see those two sit there and then have somebody else, but those two do a show about footy.
I think everyone would, but you know what? I don't think they'd want to do it because. Like I'm mates with both of them, very different, and they're very different, and they clash. You know, like
they're brothers.
That's what I mean. I clash with my brother. I get it. So I think they'd be brilliant. You know, imagine having them two, and I'm sure they've been offered to do podcasts and even coach the Blues. They've been offered as a partnership, and I think it'd be brilliant. I just don't know if they'd want to do it. Like themselves.
They'll do 2 episodes, not talk for 2 years again.
Well, mate, they did because I think they were doing radio together, and then. Joey just did.
Joey just doesn't give a shit.
Mate, because Maddie was teasing him, and I said to Joey, I said, mate, what's going on? He goes, mate, he drives underneath Fox, sits there on his studio and drives home. He goes, I go to Suncorp Stadium, 45,000 people. Who's your brother? So like Joey's got to go to the grounds and go to the crowd, where Maddie does drive in, sit in the studio and drive home. And sit.
Gordie, I wanted to touch on a story probably not many people know about. Obviously, your humble beginnings coming from Townsville and all that, but this is one that caught my attention. So you're good mates with Lachlan Murdoch, right?
Yeah.
And I looked into it. So Rupert Murdoch, boss of News Limited, his son Lachlan puts him in charge of News Limited in Queensland in his early 20s. Yeah. And then at that period, which was a huge coincidence, Super League broke and you had the Murdochs up against the Packers, and it was huge, right?
Yeah.
He was therefore entrenched into that, and he was a mad Broncos supporter, I believe, and still is. And so, how did you guys meet? Was it because of that, or and how's the friendship and everything now?
Well, growing up in Townsville with no money, I didn't know who Packer you heard of his name because of World Series cricket, and you sort of saw photos, but you didn't know. And then you go play rugby league. Then Super League broke, and I walked in, and James Packer. I walked in and had a meeting with James Packer.
How old would he been around then?
Well, I was 20. So
was he only 20-something then too? Or
I'd say James.
Similar age?
Yeah, James wouldn't be 60. and I'm 52. So you think
so
James
mid-20s or something.
Yeah, so James is probably 5 years older than me or something like that. So then you go have a meeting with those guys. And then when I got to Brisbane, there was this guy on the sideline. You end up starting to have a chat, and it happened to be Lachlan. And then I think he had shares in the Broncos at the time, and I still think he's the major shareholder. So just over time, just going and having beers after games in dressing rooms, shaking hands, and then when Queensland had a group of guys where they just wanted, to make it elite, he was in that group. Just over time, we got to sit and chat to him, and he's just such a great. And do you know what I love about him? He's a fan, like a tragic fan. So last year, I sat with him in Origin this year, but even last year,
Vegas too, wasn't he?
Yeah, it goes to Vegas. But he was at when the Dolphins played Brisbane the first time. I go sit in the box with him, and he wears a pair of jeans and the Broncos shirt, and he sits there, and in a corporate box, people want to talk, not him. He's watching you know how people sit in corporate boxes? Not him. He watches the game, and he'll watch, and if he doesn't see it, he'll come back on the television, and he's just got his own little bit of red carpet that he moves, and that's cool. Probably it'd be the same as Nick Politis, right?
Yeah.
They're fans, right? So when they sit there, genuine fans of the game, and mate, we're lucky to have people like that involved. And maybe when he was at the paper in the early days when Brisbane was the early 90s, he might have fell in love with them then.
Didn't you go to his house with the Matty Johns boys? Is that true? What happened there?
Yeah, mate, that's the most nervous I've seen Matty, Fletch and Hindy. When we went to film in Vegas the first time to do that roller coaster and all that shit, we get a call from the boss, hey, mate, Lachlan wants to catch up and have dinner. We thought, how cool. In Vegas, we'll go to one of the restaurants. No, at his place. So then we had to ring our wives and say, we're not coming home. We've got to stay a couple other days. Could you imagine how that's going? And then what for? I said, Lachlan Murdoch, we're just going to go have lunch with him. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Can we come? But we go to this most amazing house. I think it's the Beverly Hillbillies, one of those big houses. So
is it right in Beverly Hills, was it?
Yeah, but when you watch the Beverly Hillbillies, it was that house.
Oh,
the one that they must have got so it's just
security
this amazing.
And all that, how was all that?
So we caught an Uber because we didn't have drivers. So we're there, and then the boys go, "What's happening?" So we're all so you're in Vegas and you didn't really care. We're all on in our shirts. The boys went shopping. We bought new shirts, and we go there. And Lachlan's just dressed so casual, but it was a great night. We just sat there. We just spoke, just footy, politics, mate, whatever it was they were talking about. But he and Sarah were.
Fletch would have been comfortable. Fletch is comfortable.
No, they would. No, they weren't. So I had to tell him, look, mate, he's into rock climbing, loves his scuba diving, and so then
scuba diving. Fletch and Heidi talking about scuba diving.
So then we go downstairs, and he's got this amazing gym set up with all this rock climbing, and Fletch and Lachlan's probably 85 kilo, and Fletch is 120. Gives a go at that, and he starts climbing. He's full of piss, and he falls off, and bang on his back, and shit so Fletcher's gone there really nervous, not saying a word, and Maddie and myself are sort of, holding the conversation. I just go behind the bar and have a chat and serve drinks, and the next minute, Fletcher's rock climbing 2 hours later. 2 hours later. But no, mate, but he's...
How's the food?
But I don't think, I think Valini's and that has been unbelievable, but the game in Vegas, that's when I did sign Super League, that's their vision. We're not a humble, we all start humble. And we're a real grassroots blue collar game, but we're better. Our product's better than that. And for someone like that to give us the vision, and with Delaney and all the guys to drive our game and put it up in lights in Vegas, I think that's credit to and Packer and Murdoch, they were sitting in the same box in Vegas.
Yeah. So I was calling the game,
and then you looked and they were on the side.
Lachlan and I was just calling the first. It was Warriors Canberra game, and I looked to my left, and there's Lachlan and Sarah Murdoch. And I was like,
just in that box. They sit there.
I had to look twice,
Yeah, that's the box right beside it. And they sat there.
They came in.
The talk.
They came in headsets and stood there. And I was
listening to you talk.
Started talking like Dan Gennane.
I'd just like to thank the Murdochs for getting us over.
If Lachlan and Sarah are here.
It's sort of cool, and you don't, and we're just so lucky that he's been involved with the game, and then Nick Politis and the Frizzels and
The true
We
fans.
need them. We need them.
mate, we need all of them, mate. And the Russell Crowe, when I was at South, and I know that's a touchy thing for George, but South, the hat, the Oprah, like it's just like our game has exploded since I've retired, and it's because of the owners as well, but the players as well.
Yeah. All right. Now I was going to talk some Origin, but we all know.
Don't bring it up. The referee ruled it.
I was more just going to talk about, obviously you're a passionate Queenslander and about this series and all that, but we've kind of spoken about that a lot.
Well, it's just good for the game.
I'll ask you one question.
No. Okay, well, let's talk about the eligibility, right?
Yeah.
As a kid, I knew I wanted to wear the Queensland jersey, and the next jersey I wanted to wear was Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we keep on dancing around these people that want to play for everybody. You know who you want to play for.
Yeah.
You know as a kid. You go ask any kid, I got a Gorden Tallis Cup, there's all 10-year-olds. I could ask every kid to tick a box who they want to, and they'd know the box to tick.
Don't know which box to do.
But if you start putting money, you get 10 lollies to play there, you get 20 lollies, and we keep on trying to pull them, the kids would get clouded.
That's a good point.
So,
That's such a good point.
so
But
for
do you
me,
think it's harder though?
I know it
just
gets harder
throwing it out
because the
there.
Tino situation, right? His dad come over, Arthur Beetson brought him over. He played for the Roosters. He was born in Orange, and then at 6 months old, I think Tino moves to Gympie.
Yeah.
He's played all of his footy in Gympie in Queensland, and he wants to wear that jersey, and I see him run out, and it meant so much because he didn't play the year before, and he gets emotional. So I see what the Queensland jersey means to him, but then he wants to play for his father and Samoa. So, what boxes do we tick? So when you're a kid, if you want to do that, just do it. And then we're not holding them back because then we got to have Queensland kids wanting to play for us and Australia. So we're not protecting the Queensland jersey. We're protecting the Australian jersey here. Yeah. And we're missing the sight of the Australian jersey is number one, and the stepping stone for that was Queensland and New South Wales.
Are you saying though, just say, okay, so I was like you. I want to play for New South Wales and Australia. You've got to pick at a certain age, and that's it. You got to stick with it, right?
Yeah.
But what if can you play for Samoa and New South Wales or Samoa and Queensland?
Well, I think that the
Even
game's got to get so big.
If you pick it that early.
No, well, because obviously that means that Queensland and New South Wales guys would play 3 extra games. We just got to put something in the diary where Samoa, in that time, if Samoa played Tonga in Sydney, and PNG, and if we really want to develop, played Fiji, and that was a couple of games in between Origin, and that was our focus. Wouldn't that be better for the international? I don't know those answers because they're above my pay grade, but I just think that you talk to guys and they're clouded. It's a bit like the Australian cricket team. I'm going to put it in that. When I grew up, there was 15 Australian cricketers, and they either played the Test match and into the 50 overs.
1 days.
Now there's probably there's so many, and I don't know who's in, who's out, what's playing. They go to the IPL. You don't know.
I'm losing track, and I used to love it. Yeah.
So we can't lose track on who plays for who. Let's protect, and I'm talking about protecting the Samoan jersey, the Tongan, because when it gets to that and someone goes, no, I want to play for that, and it's going to come back the other way, they will feel the same.
I've got one question around Origin. We talked about, so when Madge was the coach, he threw the jersey at all these players and said, what does the Blues jersey mean to you? And we're a Blues podcast usually. Yeah. And I always say,
that's cool.
What does it mean? What does it mean, that Queensland jersey? It's when they put it on, it's magic. It's like players can be going.
No, it's the same. It's the same. What it means is your family name's on the back. And it's the only game you play where you represent more than yourself. Yeah. So when I play for the Broncos, I'm playing for the Broncos, but when you play for Queensland and you run out and for some reason you always look at your family and it's bigger than the game's bigger than you, the blokes that played before, the blokes that play after, the blokes that maybe you never get to play in the jersey, and you play for your state. It's a totally different feeling than any other jersey. And then when I play for Australia, not to blokes went away in a rusty tin boat to fight for our freedom. So when I pulled it on and I looked at it and my heroes had run out, and I played at Wembley in it, it was the most emotional, the hardest warm-up I've ever had for any game. Yeah, wow. So there's different boxes that you tick when you do it. But if I played for New South Wales, I cannot tell a bloke that's grown up in Dubbo, that's drove down and did it the tough way and had injuries, that pulls on a New South Wales jersey and doesn't want to play for it. Because I watched Andrew Johns, I watched Laurie Daly, I watched the guys. They rip in. It doesn't mean more to us. It's just because of the players that we have playing.
Yeah. Maybe it means more to them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're a bit more of the underdog. all the time.
We're always the underdog because we're less
prove
players.
something more. They get more emotional, more,
Yeah, because New South Wales has generally dominated the Australian side.
This series was the best example of it. Like we had the best team by a long way.
And if they picked an Australian side,
they wanted it more.
We wouldn't argue it'd be Harry Grant, Munster, Tino. There might be 4. Like, and that's not being rude. Maybe 5.
I think it's rude not to pick Dearden. I'm 40.
So when I played for Australia, there was myself, Wendell Saylor, Shane Webke, Darren Lockyer. We go on tour, and maybe Matt Rogers. There's 5 Queenslanders in a tour of 24 blokes. So I went through that era as well, and it's fine if they're better than you.
All right, let's talk some footy. Should we go into the teams or
no, there's a bit of big news about.
Who does he go for these days?
He's a Rooster because I'm here. And I tell Nick I run over the Habs and Nick.
Rooster.
Oh, here we go. He's worried about the comments. He's worried about the comments.
I've explained this 38 times in this podcast.
No, mate,
and with Buzz every fucking
100%
Monday.
he's a Rooster. I want to actually.
Depends who's winning.
There's a bit of news going around.
Yep.
And there's a lot that you should have some inside scoop for us.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, obviously, there's talk around Munster.
Oh, yeah. And Pezzett.
And Pezzett. And Jonah Pezzett. So obviously, Jerome,
he's in the box seat, isn't he?
He's in the box seat.
But you know what? It's been the busiest week of my career combined with the usual 360 and all that, but with the management stuff this week because everything's sort of blown up at once. And I don't have many clients, as everyone knows. So, I've got the Lachlan situation, which, isn't really a situation, but it is. Like, we're a bit unsure of what's going on there with him because he can't get a start and that. So that's something I'm trying to manage. And then, with Jerome re-signing, the clause was that Jonah is off contract effective immediately, which he is. So then do we get a loan next year? Do we take that clause and put him to market? That is what we've got to sort out with Melbourne. I've got a meeting with them at 5 o'clock this afternoon in at Fox Zoom, which I'll get a lot more clarity on that position. I'm in my opinion of it is Jonah's ready and has been for a while. He was man of the match in under 19s. He's been so patient there, and they've been loyal in as well. But he's been loyal to them in waiting.
Yeah.
And I look at some of the halves in the comp, and I think he'd walk into a few teams, and I think I don't want to hold him back any longer because you need the reps in first grade. You need to develop and you need to get there. So, I've got a really important meeting because in that meeting too. There's been rumours around Cameron Munster going to Perth. There's nothing to that right now. Like Perth, I haven't had any discussions with, but I'm assuming they want him. And if I'm them, I would too. I think he's perfect to set. And so that's natural. And the Dolphins want him.
They'd be crazy not to.
They'd be crazy.
They'd be crazy not to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Melbourne saw him, 2 years ago. Melbourne go, well, he's ours. But then it's who they got coming through.
Yeah.
And, Perth need to sign players. He's a great figurehead to start that off with. He's now developed into a leader with his captaincy of Queensland. He did that in Perth. So there's a lot of, the Perth fans would have seen that firsthand. So there's a lot sort of, that makes sense about it. But the big question is, will Melbourne let him go a year early if that was to eventuate? And that's something that I don't even know if we need to talk about because I don't know where we're at. In terms of the Bears, if they want him a year early, do they want him in 28? Do they want him in 27?
So who does?
Would you put Peasant at a new franchise?
I'd probably prefer not to.
No.
He's got. I'm not going to wait 3 years behind. At a great club.
Yeah.
And then throw him into the fire, with the Wolves, and go, here, you got to run a whole new franchise with new players, and that'd be too. I wouldn't do that. No, I wouldn't do that.
But that's weird. So they've obviously stuck with Jerome, and there'd always been cloud around whether his body would hold.
Well, some feedback on that. So, and this is why the Pezzett situation is interesting because we always got told that, and it's probably inside information, but it was looking like Jerome wouldn't re-sign. There was never any, he's not staying here and we're not re-signing him.
Yeah.
But the whole sort of vibe was, he's going to probably want too much money, and there was he wanted to move back to Queensland. So we made a lot of our decisions with Jonah and the like around that. So that's why I put the clause in case
It did happen.
And it did. So lucky I did, right? But yeah, so we were a bit caught off guard by that too. So, and Jonah probably has been a little bit. So there's a lot to play out there. It's going to be interesting. I've got my hands full the next few weeks and months, but that's as much as I can say on that. But we'll know more when I speak to Melbourne about where everything's at. So it should be interesting.
So we should know more by next week.
I don't know, mate. I'm not going to promise anything. All right, let's do the preview.
So good, isn't it?
What about that deflection?
Mate, you got to give him a buzz, but this is what I'm hearing.
Brave.
Can we fit him in at the Roosters?
Don't you bring it up.
Yeah, the hard thing is, though, if he's effectively off contract now, most of the rosters and sevens are signed for next year. So he's in a bit of a tricky situation.
Have you watched much of him play?
Yeah, the bits that you see on things.
And what's your early assessment of him?
Well, you got to go into first grade.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to.
You got to get You got to get in the hot seat, and I'm a strong believer that we judge our number sevens way too early. Way too early.
Too hard.
And we think that they're the next Andrew Johns or whoever, or Alan Langer or Jonathan Thurston. And my era, what I watched, Peter Sterling passed the ball to Brett Kenny, Ricky Stewart passed to Laurie Daly, Alan Langer passed to Wally Lewis when they were learning their craft. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So if that number seven's going to pass it to, like Cameron Munster, you go, mate, you go there because he's going to help you out and take the reins. So the kids that have to do it on their own, and I felt a bit sorry for like Luke Brooks because he was doing it all by himself with no help, and all those other players left him, and that poor kid carried their bucket.
And it's not like
that's a great point.
Much as they've I don't know, there's much change there. They were blaming him for a long time.
Yeah.
Can't say it's they got 3 wooden spoons and all that the last 3 years.
Yes, great point.
Let's get into this.
All right, before going right into the preview, because it's obviously Drome now being injured.
Yeah.
Melbourne Storm's $3.25.
Yep.
And you got 3 teams on at $5: Canberra, Canterbury, Penrith, and then you've got Reni's Roughies at $11. Broncos.
Yeah, I like the $11.
You like the $11?
Yeah, I'd take the 11.
You're taking 11.
Who's your pick at the moment to either win or be in the grand final? 2 teams.
I think now there's probably 4 that can win it. What I see.
Okay, go.
Penrith, Brisbane, Melbourne, and the Raiders.
Yeah.
What I see, and that doesn't mean
you can't think the Bulldogs can win.
Not
on what I've seen. I missed that game. I was flying back from New Zealand on Sunday, but
business class or.
Yeah, I did.
First not there.
No, mate, but it's my wife's. Mate, it's a birthday present. Come on. No, but I didn't see it, and everybody was saying how poor Manly were. But if they go do that in a couple of weeks again, and you go, yes.
So you're not sold on them yet, though. You want to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
That's fair enough.
Mate, I even think a Bulldogs fan, right, because when you talk to
just
them,
you know you're going to get abused by about 400 blokes.
I don't really care.
It's water off a duck's back.
The reason why I say it is we've got a big Bulldogs fan base because of him and Reni.
No, we get it.
But you know, mate, if they were honest with themselves, they'd say
100%.
next year we're going to go. And if you said, okay, can you beat Melbourne, boom, boom, boom in a row? No. That's hard.
That's hard. It's going to be hard.
And I think Manly have showed this year that when they capitulate, they capitulate.
They're off.
Well, they scored 4. So Canterbury's defence, I said halfway through there, Canterbury's defence can win them the comp. And I said that on 360, so they didn't congratulate me. But, did they? But
they only hear the negative, man. They don't hear the positive.
But now with Penrith and the sides cracking the whip, and Melbourne's come through Origin, right? And then Penrith are starting to come, and Brisbane have got through Origin. If they can just freshen Payne Haas up, they're coming.
I've got your 4 teams plus the Dogs. I think they can win it.
Okay.
Yep.
So you got the top of the market. Well done.
Thanks. Do you want me to put them in order for you?
Well, man, that's why they're there.
You asked the question, you did.
Listen,
I just want to know.
The Dragons are a chance, and the Tigers could get on a run and win the last 6.
Anybody down with 19, the Cowboys, if they win every game.
Actually, I'm going to give him credit here. He has found a few roughies this year, and he's about to tip one again.
Do you want me to give mine?
We're going, don't give it yet, but we're going to go through the round. We'll both go.
Okay.
Mate, he tipped me Parramatta last week.
And I think he's about to tip him again. So we go and all right, game 1, Combank Stadium, coming off the win. You've got Eels $3.64. It's 10.5 star.
Yeah.
and $1.29 Storm. They have Munster and Pappenhausen.
I'm not tipping Para. I just think it's going to be very close. And I'll get to that later. But so Para are going really good, you know, and because it's at CommBank, that switches everything for me. In Melbourne, I'm thinking they win easily by a long way, 13 plus. But you know, Mitch has just brought a different dynamic to that team. He's brought a lot of confidence. You know, Zach Lomax is back playing well again, the style in which they're playing. And, you know, Cameron's had the week off, and him and Wishart in the halves, no Jerome, it's a weird combination for me.
Yeah.
So how's that going to look? How's it going to work? With me not knowing that, I'm leaning towards thinking they could be a bit clunky, and it's going to take a while. If they're going to stick with that combo, it's going to take a while. And Cameron's role completely changes. Harry's outstanding, but if they control Harry, then it's going to be up to them too. And I just think it's going to be a bit of a clunky game. It won't be their usual performance. And against Para, who are firing, you know, and playing over their weight, I'm going to go Melbourne in a close one.
Yeah.
Very close game.
But there's a bit of unknown with like Melbourne. And Cameron Munster's had a lot on his plate.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
So
and, you know, like, that's a good point you make, because he was buzzing with Origin. And then, you know, he's had, you know, his father passed away, you know, so he had to go home and do his family and funeral. And then it all from experience in this room, it hits you, you know, it hits you at some point, but he's doing great. Yeah. And he's so competitive, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. So I don't think Melbourne, look, because there's a little bit of unknown with Melbourne, but if Melbourne play to their best, you think they win.
You think they win. All right. We go over to New Zealand. They are outsiders, $2.22 against an informed Dolphins, $1.67.
This is a hard one too.
This is a hard game.
This is a hard one. Really, like, Warriors are going so good, and even with the injuries they've had, they still keep delivering. And the Dolphins are a bit unpredictable. They're not.
I think they're the one side that could upset one of those four teams.
They can play.
Not to win the comp, but I think
they've nearly got to 50 like 5 times this year. Yeah. They can score points. Oh. I don't think the Warriors can score as many points with no Metcalf and Barnett.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm going to go the Dolphins.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I'll just stick with the Warriors, but I'm scared of the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a little bit inconsistent. I know that the trip over there is just sometimes it's a tough trip, man. Like, if going from Queensland to New Zealand, and
I know it was pretty good last week. It was quite nice. The wineries.
So you're a combination over there.
I'm too busy with a few hit-ups to the bar.
I wasn't playing at the Crown Plaza or the Pullman.
You weren't having the meals in Fox Sports. You had a bit.
Yeah, okay, fair point. Yeah, the Warriors.
All right. Now, Brisbane Broncos at home to bounce back $1.14, 17. They've got to cover 17 and a half against South.
Yeah, Brisbane.
They bounce back here.
Yeah.
And fuck, they are absolutely decimated, poor South.
Yeah, they are. They're gone.
Even I feel sorry for them.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah,
that's a lie.
We go to Titans, $4.45 up there against Penrith.
Saturday afternoon.
Yes.
Coming off a great win.
Yes.
I never tip against the Titans.
Okay.
What's your role there?
Believe it or not, I'm an ambassador, and people think I get paid, and that's the funny thing. I've never been paid, but there was a battle there. The AFL, with this structure, with their salary cap, get about an extra $15 million to beat us, and I'm a loyal leaguey. Brisbane was huge with Elf and all the boys. Cowboys, I was there, and they were great with Thurston. They got a new stadium and statue, and the next team that needed help in Queensland were the Gold Coast Titans, and I love the owners. Have done a fantastic job, so hopefully we can get back in the winner's circle. We've had a bit of a horrible year.
Yeah, Penrith are just – they're on a run. You know, I can't tip against them at the moment. They're a chance of doing it again, and they'll be too good, I think, for the Titans again.
For our little mate JC, he's off to Wynn Stadium. St George Illawarra, $2.82 against Canberra Raiders, $1.44.
You know what? The Dragons, they compete. You know,
they do,
and the Raiders have been slow starters, but they just fly home. You know, cold day, Wollongong, home crowd. I don't know if the Dragons can keep competing though. You know, I don't know. I think it's been smothered. Their results have been.
They are trying hard, the Dragons.
I've tried hard all year, mate. Are you sweet, mate?
Do you know what that is? That's a carton. if it ever goes off on TV.
Does it?
Yeah, carton of beer for the whole crew.
Yeah.
Okay,
What sort of beer, Forex?
Oh, whatever,
Tui?
mate. No, whatever.
I like Fireballs better.
Do you know what? Do you know what? The Raiders, are they due for? Do you know one of those games?
That's what I'm thinking.
Do you know
Gordon.
one of those games when the Raiders, they just don't turn up? Ricky has a blow up. But, they've been up. Like, do you know when you're up
They've
for so
been up,
long?
mate.
Like there are some weeks you go to train and you just think it's going to happen. You just think it's going to happen. And then once you get on the field and you're 20 minutes and you go, God, and you're trying to turn the engine on and it just won't start.
But the only thing is, are the Dragons capable of it? There's a number of teams. I think that what we can take out of this from Gordie and I here is that this is a danger game and it's one that could be an upset. I'm not going to tip against the Raiders.
No, you can't.
But if you're looking at value and all that sort of stuff and chances of an upset, this could easily happen, I reckon.
Okay. And then Flanagan gets to play again.
Mate, he's just signed a 10-year deal, I heard.
All right, we go to 4.
Don't coach your son, mate. I don't even coach my 6-year-old. Mate, nepotism. He'd wear whatever jersey he wants. You can have 3 oranges. You have 4. Have the 4th one. No, get out of it. It's his. No, but like you can't win.
You can't win.
You can't win.
Awful.
You can't
And that's the
You
sad
know, I was
part.
going to say it last night, Gordie. Like, we got kids and we understand.
Yeah.
If it's our kid, we'll do anything for him, die for him. We'll give him every opportunity he can. We understand that. But I was thinking about it after the show and I thought, and I don't care, I'm going to say it. If Lachlan Ilias had a different name right now, if he was Shane's son, do you think he would have played 11 games in reserve grade, won 10 out of 11, St George had lost and he'd still be there? If it was the other way around, if it was Flanagan, Kyle, who'd gone back, would he be back by now?
Yeah, I'll stay out of that. All I know is Brad Arthur's son was in the same boat.
Okay.
Like in the same Jake
hard.
Arthur, Jake Arthur. And then I remember him running on and Parramatta just booing, and he made his debut, I think, up at Magic Round. They gave him the jerseys and all the boys wanted to play. And
man.
It's just it's just hard. For some reason, our game, right, and everybody gets a voice. It's
hard to manage.
How lucky is
I feel so. Yeah, I know.
No.
Because I feel sorry for Shane. I feel sorry for Kyle too. Because
do you reckon Ivan gives Nathan half of his paycheck every year? Thanks, son. Thanks, son. It's not the other way around. Thanks, son, for winning that game.
True.
Oh, mate. Listen, mate. That game plan. Don't worry about it this week. You just do your stuff, and I'll sit there. Yeah, mate. I told Nathan to do that. No, but you know what I mean. And that's it works like that. But it's even happening with the Lakers, Bronny and LeBron.
Yeah.
Like he's, I don't even know anything. But the comments about he only playing because he's LeBron's son, there's probably truth
it's
to
hard.
that.
Anyway, let's move on from that.
All right. We go to 4 Pine Saturday Arvo. There's the Gotcha for Life charity game at half time.
Gussie
Big Fletcher's.
Are they playing footy?
They're playing a touch game at halftime. Fletcher's captain of the Chook side.
Is Candice captain of the other one? She's playing, isn't she?
She's in
Saw
one
her
of the
posting
teams.
it.
Yeah. But Manly $1.73, Roosters $2.10.
Who you tip?
Roosters.
Roosters.
I like Chooks in this game.
Yeah.
How they lost last week, fuck me.
No, mate, I do like the Roosters. I do like because Manly, mate, you're right with Manly. When they click, when they played Brisbane and off the first run, I think Hopewadi goes through pain, asking someone, and they're up for it. And then the next week, between their best game and worst game, there's just so much.
So far.
Where I think the Roosters, they're a bit more consistent. But
I think they've got a lot of big ends. Billy Smith back in D-Shrewd. They got Savala back with a long kicking game.
Can I just say, the Roosters massacred last week's game. Because I had them as the pick on this Unibet special.
Yeah.
Into Tupou, and I explained why he'd score, and he did it twice in a row.
Almost 3 times.
Jerome goes off, and I'm thinking the multi's up. Yep, ching ching, and mate, how did they? It was shocking. They should have won that. That was poor.
And I think that goes to show, and I'm a huge fan of him, Sam Walker, but it goes to show he still needs to learn game.
You talk about Reece Walsh and being a bit erratic. That kick, that 7 tackle set on play 2 or 3. I love him. I've talked him up all year, but man, he's got to find the balance too. He's got to find that balance between trying to come up with the big play every play. That's something he needs to work on. I know he's dad and uncle, and
Well,
that's
like
the
they played
style.
the same, yeah.
I know, but you know, it's a team sport. You know what I mean? And
Great point.
you don't want to shackle him, but what's better for the team?
Hey, what about Tommy? Would you move him, like the whole thing? I always thought he'd be better in the centres because when he plays fullback, he runs and he's limping and he always. It just never looks like he can get through because of the amount of kilometres he does.
Yeah.
Then you go to centre and they go, well, they lose something.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
mate, he either sits out 8 games a year or 10 games a year.
I'm hearing a bit of player unrest there, and I keep hearing
Or,
it with the coach. You know, it's just I'm
is
hearing
that from Buzz or?
Well, a number,
Reedy.
mate, a number.
I gave him straight up.
No, I don't know. No, that's a lie. I just want to throw.
No, you
Reedy
know
under
it's
the
true when there's a few of them saying it.
Yeah, no, mate.
Because
like
they
then-
talk to the players, mate,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
players tell them off the record.
Yeah.
Anyway,
West Tigers go to Combank for their home game, $3.57 against the Bulldogs, $1.29.
yeah, Galvin 4 tries and gets
No, Sexton's not back. Poor Sexton.
Nah, Doggers can't lose this. Should I say it like that? Or?
Tigers will be up for it. You'd
will
imagine. Do
say-
you know what, mate? I'm flying down. We're calling that on Triple M, and I'm actually looking forward to see how the Tigers. Because when the Tigers played the Roosters a couple of weeks ago, that was a totally different side, mate. They were really good again. And
The Tigers are going like they're competing, and they're even though their results aren't great, I think they're a lot better than last year. But this is something we spoke about last night, Gordie. If you were the Tigers players with what happened with Galvin, I know we're not going to harp on about it, but this is the fact: you would want to kill him this week.
yeah,
He left you to go to a better team,
yep.
and the way he left, and they would
And
want
the
to kill
bullying
him.
and everything like that. You think everybody that tackles him and they know, and you know sometimes like you know their place.
Yeah.
You do know like when you play against them. So they would have all the video. You think that they've watched enough on what he was supposed to get good at.
Can you imagine like Adrian Morley? There's one of
Oh
them.
my
Just,
God.
could you imagine being
That's the problem.
Just
with
imagine
Tigers.
if the Tigers front row was Morley, Hargreaves, and Victor Radley.
And Gordie was in the
Be
back
like,
row.
oh, mate, you just go, and Tony Carroll just sitting there. Defender. You'd be going, oh, sorry, good night.
Good night, the father.
No, good night.
That's the problem. They don't really have
they
the
don't
guys
have
to back it up.
No, mate, but you think the Dogs, mate, if the Dogs want to go on the run, the reason why we spoke about before,
They're gonna
they,
tear
mate,
them
like
up.
they put the
Yeah.
cleaners through them.
Yeah. Next game, and I'm going to tear shreds off with someone a little bit or point the finger. Cronulla Sharks are $1.39 at home against the Cowboys, 301. How did all that ball, those halves could not ice?
Yeah, they weren't good. They weren't good.
They were awful.
They weren't good. But they got the
South,
job.
I'll give credit to
South
South's
was-
defence.
yeah, their defence was
The
great.
way they
Yeah.
stuck up in the roster that they had, but there's got to be huge
You know, I
question
don't.
marks.
Cronulla always go right at home though, and they tend to bounce back as well. And you know, it's all about their spine. Really, you know, they looked like they were lost on the weekend, and once they lose confidence in their halves, they're shot Cronulla. And sometimes it happens. It happened last week. Hopefully, it doesn't happen this week. But
Upset
I'll tip.
Cowboys.
Upset Cowboys?
Cowboys will win.
I'll stick with the Sharks. Just I have no confidence.
Like the Cowboys have a good record there. Remember when I think Val Holmes kicked like the semi-finals and all that? You know, sometimes there's that.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
little-
there's a little rivalry between
Yeah.
someone. I reckon the Cowboys
That's,
are like
that's
the-
your upset one.
there you
All
go.
right,
North
what
Queensland
is
boy.
your bet of the round?
What was it again? Okay, so like last week, I'm going to go again Parramatta against Melbourne with the start. And my try scorer this week, I was going to do Addo Carr because he's on the left up against
Anderson?
Anderson, and I got Tupou on the outside of him last week, and the Fox is even quicker. But I'm going to go a bit of value, and I'm going to go my man Munster because I just think with Jerome out, he's going to be on the ball, and if he's as hungry as I think he is and he wants to take over that team,
Contract in the West.
and he's playing for a new deal. I just think if he's full of beans, which he usually is, he'll be supporting, he'll be pushing up, he'll be even a kick off Harry or a dummy and go like we know, or a support back up the middle. I think he might jag one that game.
Yeah. I'm going with 2 Roosters multis.
That's
I'm going to kick off with the girls who are on fire, unbeaten.
Yeah, mate, they play good.
They are going absolutely enormous. I've got them to win, which is short, but the 2 anytime try scorers, Isabel Kelly and Jess Surges.
Both guns.
Both guns.
Is Jess playing after last week when she had that big?
Yeah, well, she's been named.
Like, they're athletes, they're machines.
Yeah,
Machines.
they're
I
good.
interviewed Isabel Kelly when she first, before there was even the NRLW, and she was her dad. I think her dad was a famous played for Manly or something like that. But I was only just starting at Fox, and even then, she was in the gym and man, machine.
Fit, strong, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Roosters are good.
And then I'm going Roosters against Manly. I'm tipping the Chooks and I'm going Marky Mark to score anytime.
You love Marky Mark, eh?
I do. When he's on the wing, yes. In the
SKD
centres, I'm
Marky Mark.
horrified.
Why are you horrified in the centres?
He's just
Defence.
He just flicks a bit. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't mind him in the attack, even though he has that bit of Reece Walsh throws that he tries over.
bit
But I
off.
like Sippy.
No, I do. I like it too.
I like that
A bit
because I
off.
don't like him cookie cutting
No.
and trying to play real safe.
Yeah.
We have referred to him at times as SKD. Like, he says a bit of SKD. Remember Skids? Remember Skids? Like,
Skids.
Skids, if you're 4 points behind, give him the ball. If you're 2 points in front, I don't want him anywhere near him. I don't want him anywhere near him.
There's a gun,
But I
Skidsy.
play with close line.
Oh, mate, the one I need to ask you, like, he can do things no one can do and will never do, but when he gets that ball, the ball's in the air, man, I'm fucking packing darkies, man. I don't know what's going to happen.
But then he can do a backflip and score with like 2 fingers.
Yeah.
And then just do, the most ridiculous thing.
But anyway, take the good with the bad, huh?
That's it.
Well, that's it for BTFU podcast. Thanks,
Are we going
Gordie.
to bring Reni back or just...
Mate, stay in
Mate,
Bali.
well, I'm here every Wednesday, so why not?
Well, there we go.
Yeah, just leave him in Bali.
Oh, did he go to Bali?
Yeah, he's in Bali.
He's on a health retreat.
how good.
Trying to find a wife.
Health retreat.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Where's that at?
I don't know.
Massage.
Apparently they do Bing Tank.
Sippies or whatever it is. Mate, what is
Yeah.
it? Sippies or mate, what's the name of that?
Mississippi's Mexicola.
Oh,
Have they got a health retreat there now? So they must have chin-up parts.
fins.
Chin up. He's done. Have you seen him? He's not doing chin ups.
What? No, Rennie's fit, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing chin. Yeah, no, he's actually in decent shape at the moment, Ren. I don't want to go down that path. All right.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website